So we are live here at DMG MORI, and now you're about to go on a tour with me, and I'm accompanied by Martin Adams. We're going to look at all of the machines and the automation that is on show here. Now this open house is on today, it's on tomorrow, it's also, there's an education day on Friday, and the event is also on next Wednesday and Thursday as well. It's actually located in Coventry, close to the M6, the M45, very central in the country. So if you like what you see over the course of the next 10-15 minutes, then join us. And I have to say, if you want to catch up on our earlier stream where we were joined by DMG MORI customers, you can find that on our YouTube channel. We also had Steve Finn on, and if you've got any comments or questions during this tour that we're going to do with Martin, please get them into the comments box because we want to hear from you. I want to know what you think. What do you like about what you see here today? Martin, that was a hell of an introduction. Anyway,
it was, wasn't it? Yeah, very good that. Now you've really put the pressure on me.
So now it's your turn. We're going to go around and see all of the technology here. I must say that you've got partners as well. You've got Mitutoyo, you've got Fanuc Robots, you've got Hypermill, CAD/CAM software. So you've got what I would class as a solution for all of manufacturing's requirements.
Yeah, that's very true. We can't do it just with the cast iron, the machines that you see around the showroom here. You can't do that. You have to have the partners, that, as you say, the CAD people, the tooling people, work holding, every aspect of it, even down in where we're going to finish at the other end of the showroom in a bit, the bar feeds, everything else. You need that support. You need to be able to trust what you're putting on. The customer can then mix it. Okay,
so let's start. We're going to get up close and personal with some of the solutions and some of the machines that are on show. And we're going to start with something that I would consider for DMG MORI. It's relatively simple, Martin. I mean, we've got a 3-axis machining centre, but of course, these are homed in many, many companies, aren't they? These are what you'd call a machine that's kind of the starting point for every machining business.
Yeah, this is our standard product, CMX range, standard product, the CLX sort of range, the starter standard range of machines. So the 3-axis machines, you've got the 800mm in X, you can have 1100, you can have
keep the mic close to you.
You can get the different spec of machine, same width in the Y-axis, just the X-axis change, so they're just very compact, easily fitting into a smaller workshop.
And what would you envisage, what are you showing on that side machine for automation? I mean, because one of the themes here at the show is obviously automation and digitization. How would this, what would this offer in that area?
Well, we can offer a number of things. We can offer a pallet system. We'll see those as we go around, the PH150, that type of machine. We can offer single piece part, just like the automation here, the collaborative robot. This is a new development for us. There aren't many in the UK, but there are around Europe. It's a Fanuc robot on a system. You can have either the single tray unit here. It has a drawer to pull out to have more parts, but you can have obviously more than one of these. You can have, this is only just showing where the machine would be potentially, but you can have one on either side and one here and a machine over there, or a machine here. And
it looks kind of like a bit of a guided vehicle. Can it move?
Sorry?
It looks like
There is a version that moves.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to see this here, you're watching, it's just going to move. If I push it, it stops. Then carries on.
You're going again, yeah.
And it's very simple. Some axes, it takes slightly more.
I find this is a really popular solution for subcontract machine shops. You can use it in association with any machine, can't you? So it's not kind of one robot.
It is very much that, yeah. Because this is supposed to only take up the space of an operator, so it's 600mm wide by 900mm. So it's to go to any of the machines. All you have is a QR code on the unit there, QR code on the machine. You don't even need to program it because the QR code tells the machine where the chuck is or where the vice is. So
it works it all out for itself?
It does. It plugs in, scans the unit, scans that, and it goes, within 5 minutes, you can be up and running on another machine.
Perfect. You said it's the same size as a human. I'm 6'4". Is it taller than me?
It is when it stands upright.
Did you believe I was 6'4"?
No.
Okay, NTX 1000 here.
Yeah,
these have a place close to my heart, these machines. A multitasking machine here.
Multitasking.
They are so versatile and with so much to offer. The technology cycles you mentioned down the side of the machine, handling cycle, tailstock turret, steady rest for turret, counter spindle. I mean, briefly, what do technology cycles mean? And
basically, they're additional functions of the machine, but they make it easy operation. So you don't have to understand fully, so the people that can take this level of technology. So for example, the turret mounted steady you see here, that allows you to have the full programming ability moving, so you can support both on main and counter spindle. Tailstock support, again, you can change a tip from the magazine into the spindle and continue complete the machining of the process.
Okay, well, if I get the camera this way, just you can see here what Martin's talking about here, the technology cycles. These really make it so easy for the operator, don't they? They do all the legwork, all the hard work. They do a lot
of the work. And the thing is with these as well, this is just a snapshot of the technology cycles there, and we're developing new ones all the time.
If you've got any questions or comments on what Martin's talking about, we're actually going to be back on the chairs shortly where we'll be answering those. So if there's anything you want to know about the machines that we're looking at now, please put those comments or those questions onto the channel that you're watching, and we will get to you. We will answer them in probably about 20 minutes time when I join Lyndsey back on the chairs. DMP35, Martin, I saw this at EMO, and I'm really glad you bought it here, because this to me is such a compact, high-speed, 5-axis machine. And I know you've probably got a lot to say about it, but I'm going to say the demonstration in here actually takes, some of your colleagues were challenged to ask what sort of cycle time they thought it would take. And they all said approximately 35, 40 seconds, but it's actually 19 seconds or something.
19 seconds, yeah.
Chip-to-chip time of a second on the tool.
Yeah, it is in that order, yes. The beauty of this machine, it's the smallest machine. Forget the automation, the robot on the end. We'll come back to that in a moment. But this is the smallest machine. Now, it looks like a lot of other types of machine you can know in the past. But this actually is a very powerful little machining center. So it's not just for drilling and tapping holes. This, as you can hear it, it's machining away, making this part, taking out a significant amount of material. But as a full 5-axis, you can have it as a 3-axis if you so desire, but a full 5-axis really makes it flexible. This automation takes it to the next level. This is a simple cartridge type automation. 6-axis robot for piece part operation rather than pallet. This is again where we were possibly talking on the other machine about pallets or for piece part. Piece part here, simple, so the work holder is actuated on the machine. The robot loads in, can have inspection, deburring, all that sort of thing can be added to this.
I think the footprint is key on this. If you're looking at a machining centre or for a machining centre, 24 tools, high speed, full 5-axis machine, isn't it? And as you can see here, I think this is not aluminium. You're cutting steel in this machine, which from a BBT30 perspective is important to talk about.
That's what I said. It's a real machining centre, not just drill and tapping. When you look at them, you think that type of configuration, you've seen it before, 30, drill and tapping, that's what they do. No,
let's get the camera back in just briefly again so we can see it. And having the tools in that kind of method there, your 24 tools, no compromise on that, is there, in terms of its stability?
No compromise at all. Yeah. It is extremely quick, and that's what it's all about. It's about volume production. The robustness and construction of that 5-axis unit, it's not just an add-on, it's not sitting on the table, it is the table. The automation here though, just as a quick aside, you can have another module in this to have additional tools. That's what you saw at EMO. It had additional tools.
Oh, it did.
So we can add, so you can change tools over, extend the running of it.
So I like to think if someone's got a comment, or someone's going to comment and say, 24 tools isn't enough for me, Martin's just answered that. You can have a tool carousel in here which can feed your tool changer. So if you're looking at the unmanned run, which clearly the automation does here, you do need extra tools, but you've thought of that one, which doesn't surprise me.
Yes, we have, yes.
CLX 450 TC, multitasking again.
Multitasking.
Now with a robot here. This is a robot job, I believe.
This is a robo to go. This is a 35 kilo robo to go.
35 kilo robo to go. Now you've got, you're machining 2 different parts here, I believe.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, just explain what you're doing.
Well, we take the 2 lots of material here, you can see, but this unit is controlled from the machine control. It's there, it gives us complete flexibility, so you don't have to learn how to program one of these. You simply give it the data, the grid pattern on the system here. Obviously with bigger parts you get less on. Grid pattern again here, you just fill in the data and you just say which areas are active, which are finished parts, which are that you don't need to do at this moment, or parts where you've got work to do. I think he might just be showing us on the screen, which might be useful.
What I heard about this, and as I've said already, we're here live at DMG MORI on a tour of the showroom here, 15 machine tools with the majority having automation, which we're looking at with Martin. If you've got a comment or a question or just a shout out, let us know. We'll be covering those off in about 20 minutes when I'm back on the chairs with Lyndsey. There's also streams on our YouTube channel from earlier. But in the meantime, Martin, here you can see the grid pattern
this is
on
the grid
control.
pattern. So these here are shown that they're complete. The green is showing that they're not complete. So they're locked. So you can lock something out to say, I've got another part that's going to be set up and run, and I finish that batch, so they'll be locked. The green is there, ready to be done. The grey is empty space.
Right.
And you can have those filled in and just lock them off.
Now the machine itself is a twin spindle machine with a B-axis head on here.
That's
essentially.
correct, yeah.
Meaning that you can obviously do one hit machine and then using the automation to load and unload the part.
Yeah.
One point I want to make before we move on, sorry, and I'm sure you've got one as well, is shop turn. Those that are used to shop turn might look at a machine like this and go, you can't program that on shop turn. You can.
You can. This is a fantastic piece of equipment. This really is, it's a standard equipment. Where this is manufactured in Bielefeld, the guys are here from the factory as well to support this. This is the Gen 2 machine of it. It has greater flexibility now, 30 or 60 tools. So it comes in this package. So you get the basic package, the complete package, and the Pro package. Pro package has 20 bar through coolant, additional interface for the robot and so this is a Pro machine. Then you have another one which is packaged to be very competitive with slightly less. It can be a bar feed, can be anything of that nature. But what this gives you...
Let's get the camera back in again.
What this gives you is a machine that now, where you would normally go for a turreted machine, which we still make hundreds of them a day, this now gives you the flexibility to step away from the turreted machine and go to the multi-axis machine here and give you the flexibility for the parts that you need, not just for today, but for tomorrow as well. Now this one is a 3+2. So it's not full 5-axis simultaneous, because if you want one of those, you can go to the NTX 1000, you can go to the NTX 2500 we have here. But when they do come in those models with the CTX version of this, it's full 5-axis contouring as standard. Wow. So if you've got the software to drive it, you can make it happen.
Come here to the DMG MORI Open House. It's on today. Which is Wednesday, it's on tomorrow, Thursday. It's also on Friday as an education day. And it's also on next week too, on Wednesday and Thursday. You can see these machines in action yourself. Martin, LLX 2500. Go on, you're pointing your
This is what I said. We make the NLX 2500. This is our most prolific machine. I've said it to you before. Yeah. We make nearly 300 of these a week. Yeah? So, a month. 300 of these a month. So this is a lot of machines. So what happens there is, this is a turret version. I've just said this steps away from potentially, it gives you greater flexibility. But with the right production environment, these are second to none. The reliability, the stability, and everything you've got.
You've got a gantry on this, which
yes.
You can see here at the end here. Mr. Cameraman will be able to see the fact this is where you load your billets, and then you keep the machine running unmanned. And of course, with the dual spindle, it means you can do sub-spindle work, finish the part in one hit.
That's correct.
I'm going to ask you one question, Martin. If you were to use the B-axis, the milling head over there, compared to milling on this machine, which is far stronger and which is going to give you the better results?
That's close, because power-wise, they're not that different. This is around 80, 90 Newton meters. That's just over 100 Newton meters. Okay, so it's slightly more power, but as built like a brick outhouse, and this is built like a brick outhouse. This has potentially greater flexibility in putting some slightly bigger cutters in. But for greater flexibility, because of the style of cutters and the numbers, it's that one. Because you can have 60 tools on there, unfortunately you can't on this.
Great answer. What's that noise? It's chips. Have a look at this, the NHX 4000. We're moving into milling now, horizontal machining, centre mine.
Yes.
Some metal removal there. Always great to see machines in action. We're here live at the DMG MORI Open House in Coventry in the UK. This NHX 4000, right. I know we've got to try and be quite prompt on all these machines, but there's a couple of bits on here I want to touch on. Horizontal machining centre, almost the same size as a 500 pallet, I'm told, in here. So quite a lot of working envelope for a 4000 machine.
Yes,
is that right?
It is. People always want that bit of extra elbow room. Look at the capacities inside our machines. You'll see quite a small footprint, but a large internal capacity. People, as I said, always want that extra elbow room. Why? Because they don't know what's coming next, or they've got a part that they want to push those boundaries. So the x-axis stroke and y-axis stroke needs to be a bit bigger. That's why these machines are the way they are.
Okay, what's clever about this? We're here live at the DMG MORI Open House. AI. Okay, so there's some kind of AI in this. I know what it is, but you're going to tell our audience. Right. What are you doing?
Right. Everybody, if you can see behind me, there is the automated pallet cell. It's a 14 pallet cell here. What happens when you produce this number of chips, what happens is you'll see them collect in a certain areas and around. It doesn't matter who manufactures the machine, this is what happens. Because with all the best will in the world, they'll go wherever there's somewhere to stick. A little bit of oil, a little bit of coolant. We have in here a couple of cameras and nozzles that are completely independent for a coolant system to wash down. So it's almost like having you stood in there with a wash gun to wash down. It monitors where the swarf build up. So you can pallet change cleanly, you can load new parts in if necessary, tools go in cleaner. The machine just keeps running. And what it'll do is it'll clean those areas off. So it sees an area of swarf build up, it will then focus on it and then guide the nozzles to those areas. Somewhere else is going, it will then change. It's not that you've had to program it, it does it itself.
This is just a start of many AI things that are coming. We're going to move on to gear skiving in a minute. Before I do, I've got to say the RPS system here. This very easy to use from a user interface. You drag and drop pallets, move them around.
Yeah.
Not cumbersome in any way, and of course gives you the unmanned run, doesn't it?
It does, and this is the whole thing behind the many systems that we have. We're trying to make all of the automation as simple as possible, run through the control system, so it actually makes it clear to see. You don't need to be able to program a robot. There's simple positions that you can just use. The spindle height doesn't change, the pallet center doesn't change. What you have to do is just give it the information and it'll work away from there.
Okay, right. One of the biggest highlights has to be here this week is not just the automation, it's the applications that they're running. Technology cycles that Martin talked about are ways of making parts easy to program and easy to get a very successful result. Gear skiving and gear cutting is a topic that many people talk about and companies are trying to achieve on their machines. You've done it clearly. And if we look at this, because I know they're just about to put another billet in here, so we've not caught it machining, but this is what you're making on this machine, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And all programmed within about 5 minutes, I'm told, using a technology cycle.
It is, using the technology cycle. Because traditionally, for gears and things of this sort of nature, what you're doing is there's a data table, and you're giving it all the root diameters, the crest form, the various profiles, and then you're putting that in to a program. But normally you'd need a model to create it offline. With our system, what you're doing is you're simply putting that data into the dialog boxes on the control, and then the machine does the rest for you. You still need a cutting tool to actually do the job, but the actual programming of the part is that simple.
Unbelievable what these technology cycles can do. Get yourself here to DMG MORI either this week or next week. The dates will be on the screen. You'll be able to see this machine in action cutting that gear. One of 15 machines actually, I think it's 13 or 15 machines here on show this week. If you've got any comments or questions, this is live. We're live at DMG MORI. We're going to be sitting down in a minute where we'll answer all of your questions and comments. I can't do it on this tour because I've got to get all this stuff out of Martin's head, so I haven't got enough time to get your questions out. Here we got a 5-axis machine, the DMU 75 monoblock. I've seen these being made in Fronton. I've seen these in action in factories. You claim that you're a 5-axis champion. Why is that? Martin, and what is good about this machine?
This machine is part of a family of machines, as all of them are. But this is part of a family. These are one of the most dynamic 5-axis machines anywhere. It means you've got the weight of the components, up to 600 kilos on this particular machine, with an 800 max diameter, so large capacity, quite a small footprint again. But this gives you the flexibility here to go for the 5-axis profiles for aerospace, for motorsport, for vehicle part, any part you want, it can take, and it's all very simple. Control taken from the systems, put into there from a CAD system for the 5-axis. You're not really programming 5-axis on the machine, you control it on the machine. You take it from there, and the machine then, the functionality, the speed that you can achieve, with some of these tools you can be running 20, 25, nearly 30 meters a minute with the right cutting tools, and then you've got to get the swarf out and everything else with the tools. This is where AI and everything.
So there's a few 5-axis machines here. You've got to come here to the DMG MORI Open House to see. There's the DMU 60 Evo linear. Let's have a quick look at this one, Martin. I hate to leave anything out.
No,
that
I appreciate
that. You're machining an impeller here.
Yeah.
I think the notable difference, if we leave the control there because so the cameraman can get in, the notable difference between these two machines for me is obviously size, and the dynamics are slightly different. You obviously got to give a different control system on here too. Is that part?
They could be the same.
They could be the same.
They could be Siemens. You can have this machine and that machine on the same automation cell, like we're going to see in a bit, on the same automation cell. So they can have exactly the control. You can have Siemens or Heidenhain, no problems at all.
Choice is theirs. One of my favourites. I've probably said that a few times on this tour. NMV.
NMV,
now,
yes.
Let's talk about, from my perspective, the unmanned run here. This is a clear illustration of the size of the pallet and or the part that you could get on the machine. But there's something about this machine that I want to touch on. I know there's probably loads you could talk about, but it's the, what do they call it? Is it the orthogonal ram
yes.
on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, for stability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps you could just briefly explain.
It's extremely rigid. So what you have, rather than moving the whole head as such, you're making the spindle on the ram. So you're moving it up and down. So it makes it very stable. But because it's in the octagonal position, what happens when you get you're running in the temperature and everything is then controlled. Everything is very easily controlled. So what we have is exceptionally solid, so that any torsional sideways loads, because the octagonal ram is distributed around the peripheral, because you're pushing against the pads in those areas, so it's an exceptionally accurate machine. Probably the most accurate machine we manufacture.
And you've got a few installed as well around the UK, I know.
Oh, yes.
We've got like a bridge construction here. Clearly your table there, how that is constructed, and then with the orthogonal end, gives you what you'd class as one of the optimum build methods.
Absolutely, it is exceptionally stable. Many of even the machines we've just looked at, you're talking from the ground to here as single piece castings. They are exceptionally rigid pieces of equipment. So what you have is you already have that stability, that quality there. Then you put the rest of the equipment together, like the twin drives on this, so you don't get any crabbing or anything of that nature at the speed that these things move. You get exceptional continued accuracy, and with the automation, that's exactly what you want.
And that's what we're talking about here at the DMG MORI Open House, all about automation and digitization. We can't stop without talking about the M1, Martin. I'm pulling you all over the place, yeah. I know, but there is so much to see.
This machine, as you saw the other one, the CMX, that's a standard machine. This is slightly different. Again, packaged as the other one is. But this is very much like we would see these more in training environments. But many of them are in workshops as well, because it is a fantastic...
Great subbies machine.
It is. It's very cost competitive. It has big capacity. It's a fixed table. Okay, so you're not having to move the parts around. It makes it easy to put a fourth axis on, something simple. You can really get into a beautifully manufactured process very quickly and very simple.
Some would say it's quite a good place to start with DMG MORI. I know that was one of the things, if you're not kind of in your camp yet, it's somewhere where a lot of engineers are going, you know what, this is a really good place for me to get to grips with and you know, start the journey
Yeah,
with
as
DMG
I
Mori.
say, particularly good as a training machine, particularly good in small shops, tool rooms, things of that nature. We have the turning versions as well.
Yes,
the
saw
T1.
them at the front and open house.
Yes.
DMG Mori Finance is a point to mention during this as well, because some people will look at what we're looking at here and going, do you know what, this is kind of, you know, not maybe out of my, well, yeah, out of my reach, or you know, I'm never going to have an opportunity to have some technology like that, but your finance offering is very competitive and also very popular. And in fact, I'm going to just tell people to watch our previous stream with Steve Finn earlier. It's on our YouTube channel, where he describes in the best way how DMG Mori Finance can help you. Because I want to talk about tech on this, and if you've got any questions and comments, get them in. I'll be on the chairs in about 5 minutes with Lyndsey, and another colleague from DMG Mori will be able to answer them and also give you a shout out. If you've got a DMG Mori machine, if you believe in automation, or even you don't, then tell us. We want to hear from you, and we'll talk about it on the chairs shortly. Martin, DMU50. I used to work for DMG years and years ago. And I sold so many of the DMU50 Evolutions. They were incredibly popular.
Yeah, saw the 60.
Saw the 60.
Yeah.
What's the difference in layman's terms from a DMU50 to the, what would have been the Evolution style, or what you see down there?
Well, this was prior the Evo. This machine started life as the predecessor, hence the term Evo. It evolved into that. But what happened is, rather than be just a 3+2 machine, which we have a CMX coming up next from here, with the PH150 automation, this here has had some of the technology from the Evo machine transplanted in. So what you now have is a very dynamic, exceptionally accurate 5-axis machine. This is a full contouring 5-axis machine. So it's a champion. So instead of maybe going to a monoblock or an Evo, you can have this machine with its flexibility, with automation, and you won't regret it. People do love these things.
Okay, well, let's go down and have a look at this automation. We're getting close to the end of this tour of the showroom. It's just after lunch. Still a lot of people taking you up on your hospitality, I have to say.
Well, I haven't myself yet. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to.
PH Cell 300.
Yes.
Here, clearly, this is for where you're loading the pallets. You've got a quantity of pallets which will keep that DMU50 fed.
That's correct. There are various parts to this one. You can have a 300 cell, you can have a 2000 cell, bigger parts, bigger machines. But there's also a twin version of this. So I said you could have the Evo 60 and the 75, for example, on the same, or you can have a 50 and another 50, or a 50 and
this can feed two machines?
You can, with a twin version, you can. This has 20 pallets at the moment, okay, but it's also got a big space in it. We need the enclosure for the automation, but that space can later be added onto with an additional 20 pallets to then give you greater flexibility. Also, with the right work holding on the table, in other words, the right interface, you can go from 320 size pallets all the way to 500 millimeter square pallets.
Okay, so you can, options are not limited, should we say, which is, I suppose, part of the message here.
It's what it's all about.
At the open house, because we've now got a CMX 70U, which you now say this is the 3+2.
This is 3+2.
So this is. If let's say I've never had 5-axis before, Martin, and I'm nervous. I don't know whether it's for me. I haven't got the work at the moment, but I want to get into it. Is this the sort of place you'd start?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I would. Most parts don't need 5-axis. 5-axis gives you additional speed and dynamicism, so your cycle times can come down. DMU50 and CMX 50 and CMX 70, as you see here, they don't need to be quite as quick, because although the parts can be, you want a very quick cycle, what you don't want sometimes is that additional dynamism and also the additional programming requirement, because if you can program a 3-axis part, you can program this.
Okay, so probably, or as I said, maybe a good place to start on 5-axis. We've seen a few 5-axis machines, horizontal machining centres, mill-turn machines. Any questions or comments? In a few minutes, we're going to go back to the chairs live here at DMG Mori, where we'll be talking to Fred, I believe, who's one of Martin's colleagues, and he'll be answering any of your questions. That was clever.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
He'll be answering any of your questions about the technology that we've seen. So please don't be afraid to ask. That's the whole purpose of these live streams. We really want to encourage interaction. We'll give you a shout out. Tell us you're using DMG Mori machines, or you're not and you want to know more about them. Of course, this is a live stream, but this open house is happening in real time today, tomorrow. Friday's an education day, and Wednesday and Thursday next week. And if you come here, you can see all of this kit in action, and you can even, maybe, if you're lucky, go home with one of these. I'm going to drop the pen between my legs there. You can go home with one of these. Now, Martin, this is being made on your NLX 2000 machine.
Yes.
You said to me earlier, and I know this from history as well, these machines, built in volume, sold in volume, very popular amongst companies that need pretty heavy duty and rugged machines. What are you actually making here? What is this?
This is purely a demonstration piece to show you the flexibility of the machine. What you have, I think this part comes in two pieces. You screw one into the other, so they can be made one after the other as you go. We're engraving our name on the side as well, but we're showing the flexibility here of some of the functions that you have. There we go. This one here is split into two.
We've got a hand model there. Look at that. Split into two. Both made on this NLX 2500 machine, one of DMG Mori's most popular.
And it purely comes down to the material. If you're with a bar feed here, you could put on this machine 65mm bar capacity. On the other one we saw with a gantry, that can be a bar fed machine. And that would be 80mm capacity. So you can then make both of these parts, one after the other, for an assembly to go onto your customer. Doesn't have to be this particular part, but so long as the work holding fits, you're off and you're running. You can manufacture it. And this one has 20 station turret.
20 station turret?
20 station turret.
Wow, wow. What a tour, Martin. I've got to say thank you very much. I've got to go and join the guys shortly, but it's been really great to get your technical expertise on camera and to show everybody that's watching here on this live stream what is actually on show here at DMG Mori and how impressive it is, and the fact that it's not just, well, it's for all walks of life, it's for all manufacturers to come here and see a solution. It's still streaming live. Get your questions and comments in. We want to hear from you. We'll answer them now as we go back to the chairs. Or if you just want to shout out, then do that, because we're live here at DMG Mori in the UK. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the DMG Mori Open House event, and what a day it has been. We've all been fed, haven't we? We have, and we've got lots of energy for you because we've got lots of questions. Now you've been on a little tour, haven't you, Paul?
Yeah, I hope you just saw it. Yeah, wow, it was a good 35-minute tour with Martin. Took in so much information. So you can see that's obviously been live on the YouTube channel as we are now. And on LinkedIn as well. And if you've got any comments or questions relating to that tour, of course, that's what Fred's here for now. We're going to answer some of those. But yeah, it was great to get Martin's knowledge, which I'm sure you're going to offer us exactly the same, Fred.
Just a little bit.
A bit less or a bit more, who knows?
A little bit. Right, we'll find out. Okay, so Fred here is the applications manager here at DMG Mori. Thank you for your messages, by the way. This is interactive, so if you do have any questions or anything like that, we've all got the technology here, so it'll come through to the screen and we can ask Fred. And we've also got Charlie coming on a little bit later on. So if you've got because Fred is applications, if you've got any questions in that area, this is the time to ask those questions. So my question to you is basically, Fred, there's 13 machines out of here that have all got different demonstrations on. What goes on in your minds in terms of choosing what demonstrations go on what machines?
Okay, well it's a bit of a process. You look at what the machine can do, then you look at how best to show that machine, how big the part can take, how complicated the part can
Yeah, that's better.
and then you build up from there. You look at what tools you're going to use, what work holding. You put a package together, and then you just add operations, build layer upon layer.
But do you find that you're making parts and components that are relative to industry, or is it like that blue sky thinking that you've said, you know?
It depends. It depends. Some of the machines lend themselves to doing things like that, but some, like the NMV, we just talked to a cam company. We said we need to show the 5-axis movements on this machine. We need to show how dynamic it is, how quickly it responds, how smoothly it responds. Make us something that we can work with you and show the machine to its best.
There's a demonstration that's happening on the NMV 3000, the machine with the pallet changer. why did you want to what is the demo and why did you choose to put this on it?
Okay, well, again, it was 5-axis. It's a bit of we think it's one of our strongest 5-axis machines. It's certainly one of the most accurate. We've got box-in-box guideways, so everything's driven at the center of gravity. There's no push from one side, it's pushed evenly from both sides in all 3 linear axes. So it's a very accurate, very smooth control, but it's also very strong. Even though it's got a 4th and 5th axis, when you lock it in position, it's as strong as any 3-axis.
Yeah.
It's a really good platform. There isn't anything you can't make. If it fits on the table, you can make it.
It's quite good as well, and you would have seen them, all of the green, say, images, I don't know what they're called, but on every single one of the palette changes, you can see the palette and you can see the size of the capacity of component that you can put on each of the machines. I think that's a really good idea.
Max workpiece, yeah.
Yes, basically.
It's particularly impressive on the NHX, isn't it? It's huge.
Well, that was one machine. It's an NHX 4000. Yeah,
it is.
Martin was discussing with me about the fact that it's similar in capacity to a lot of 500 pallet machines, isn't it?
It really is. It's a 400 pallet, but the actual strokes on the machine and the workpiece, the maximum workpiece, it blows your mind. You think, well, why do you need a 500 pallet? You probably
Well, let me ask you about horizontal machines on that point. And I know we've got some questions coming in, quite a few, in fact, from the tour that I did with Martin as well. But on that horizontal, a conversation we have a lot is about that version of machine, that style of machine. Why do people select that type of machine, Fred, over a vertical? Over a vertical, for example.
Yeah, the horizontal, it's easier to automate. You can do more with on that one, it's the pallet system. There are more ranges for it. It's a really high production machine. If you look at the valve block demo that we've got on there, there's 4 parts on each of the 4 sides of the cube. And that machine's got a massive memory as well for programs, so you can run, every pallet can do 16 parts, and then you load another pallet, will do another 16 parts, but you can also do your whole production for the week differently, providing it's all the same material.
But it's also about variety as well, though, isn't it? I mean, let's not pigeonhole it into a one-part solution, because there's lots of companies using horizontals that, may have a selection of different parts that they fixture up on each pallet.
Yeah.
It can be operated in that environment, and we shouldn't forget that. Would that be fair?
It can, and people do run them like that. That's a well-known production machine. It's got a good reputation as a production machine.
And for those that didn't see, it's got AI on it, where one of the things about one of the things about lights out running is, and if those of you that are watching do it, I'd be interested in your opinion on this. But it's swarf control. But on the machine, if you didn't see it on the live tour, basically there's an AI facility in place which is looking at where the swarf is building up on the machine.
It's literally a camera in the top right-hand corner. You can set preset areas to monitor. Look, there's a corner there. Potentially you can build up swarf in that corner.
Yeah.
You don't have to do any more than that. Then the machine will notice that there's a build-up and it will squirt coolant at it. And
it's
it will
the sort of thing you could do with around the house. So when you're hoovering,
fantastic, wouldn't it?
You don't have to hoover every part of the room. Do you know what I mean? You could say,
an intelligent robot.
Yeah. So do you offer do that? Do you, Paul?
Well, at the moment I have to hoover the whole room. Whereas if some of the carpet was clean, then perhaps it might do it itself. Who knows?
Right, okay, we've got some questions that have come in. So we'll go for the first question. M1, what is the advantage of the head moving compared to the table?
Okay, normally it means you can take a heavier load on the table because you're not moving that mass around. All you're moving is the same weight all the time, so it's inherently more accurate.
Yeah.
The head moves and your XYZ is all done in the head.
Right.
So if you put a light part on and you put a heavy part on, you get the same result.
I always think, for me as well, if you think of a machine and the table's continuously moving left to right or front to back, there's an element of wear that's going to happen over a period of time, isn't there? Whereas if you're moving the head that hasn't got a heavy mass on it to the part, you're gonna eradicate that. So you could look at
minimise it anyway.
Yeah, minimise it. Yeah.
Okay, next question. The DMP35. This seems new. Is it a new machine to the DMG MORI range, and what sectors is it aimed at?
Okay. Sectors, it's small components.
Is it just worth mentioning for those that are watching that don't know what the DMP35 is? It's a small 5-axis machine, isn't
24
it?
station turret.
24 station,
Right,
BBT30.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
carry
so
on.
it's a very fast chip-to-chip time. So because all the tools, it doesn't go through a tool changer. The turret index is much like a lathe, but it's a milling machine with a BBT30 interface. So very fast to index. Like if you're doing small holes, a 1 mil drill, that one's got 30,000 spindle, 24,000 spindle. It takes a couple of seconds to drill a hole. You don't want a 3, 4, 5, 6 second tool change. This goes away, comes back, and it's back in before you realise it's gone away. The fact that it's hooked up to a WH3 internal robot to keep loading it, it's a complete package to automate all these small components that would be difficult on a bigger machine as well.
Steve mentioned medical industries now. Is that what you
that can be for medical. They do a lot of bone, I'm not sure what they call them actually, but where you've got a broken bone and you need a plate, bone plates, I don't know, but that's the sort of thing. Knee joints, things again that are difficult to put on a big machine, and on a bigger machine you only use so much of the working area. On that you use the full area.
Okay, I believe we're just going to take a pause in the stream and then come back in a couple of minutes, Fred. Lots more to talk about. Keep your questions and comments coming in. We will get to them in a short while, but I think we're not taking a pause.
Oh, that's fine. We've got some more questions for you. So, so why do you think you sell so many of the NLX 2500 and 2700 machines, and what HP is this machine?
Well, I presume HP is horsepower, so it's 18 kilowatt spindle, main spindle, and 11 kilowatt sub spindle. So that's a powerful machine. It's our bread and butter, I think, lathe. It's one we sell a lot of because it's so reliable. It's got the latest technology. We have all the tech cycles on there to automate a lot of the programming side of things. We have a lot of options for automation with gantries, which we've got here with Robo2Go. It's a flexible base to build whatever you need, to make what you need.
I think a lot of what we've seen is different varieties of automation. We've seen pallets, like you've just said, you've got the gantry. There's so many opportunities, and I feel like when I'm here, you just see a solution for everything. That's what I pick up on.
Yeah, so the NLX is I think, top of the line for a lathe, a driven tool lathe.
There you go. Okay, right, wonderful. Fred, thank you very much for all of your insights.
You're
Fred
welcome.
was quite nervous to go on camera, but it was fine, wasn't it?
No.
It's worth noting, if there are any more questions, we will get to them and get them answered on the platform wherever you're making comments and questions.
Yeah.
But time runs out, unfortunately, with these streams sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thanks,
well,
Fred.
thank you for joining us here at the DMG MORI Open House event. We had the tour this morning. If you want to watch any of our live streams and go back, there will be on YouTube as well later on this afternoon, and you can see what the managing director said about the company and also what.
And I think we're going to get Charlie on, aren't we? Just quickly before
Can we get Charlie on? If
Just
we've got
before
time, that would be great.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get Charlie on. We'll do a little swapsy as
Yeah,
well. Thank you. We've got time.
Thanks,
Let's
Fred.
go
See
for
you
it.
later.
Thank you so much, Fred. But also, if you go back onto some of the streams, then of course we've got some of the customers talking about their own stories from their own facilities and why they've gone for these machines. Some really interesting stuff was said this morning. Charlie, hello. Thank you for going onto the screen now. Right, okay, so this event is on today. This event is on tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Friday.
Yes.
And next Wednesday and Thursday. But what is happening on Friday?
So Friday is the apprentice focus day. So we've invited apprentices to come down, speak to our engineers, speak to our sales team, and then just kind of pick their brains really, find out the knowledge of the machines, what they can do, the capacity, anything that they want to know that they may have learned or they want to learn. They just want to come and meet like the experts of our machines really.
You know what, there's not very often that a company of this size is opening their doors so freely like that.
Yeah.
With all of the machines here
Yes.
doing demonstrations.
Yeah,
Okay, you're free to bring in apprentices and everybody else, you know, on a weekly basis, and you always encourage people to come and
course.
visit, but not when the showroom's in a state like this
Yeah.
with this many machines.
Oh no, yeah, we are lucky, and we hope that companies think that they are lucky that they can come and see it like this, and it's not very often, like you said, that we get the showroom like this with the sales guys all together and with the engineers all together, that you can just walk from machine to machine and have someone there that will answer any question that you've got. It's really nice.
Compared to 4 years ago, Charlie, you were here in the last one.
Yes.
I mean, you haven't had to undertake the work and the effort that goes into putting on an open house like this for 4 years, have you? Been a pretty tough couple of weeks or longer.
Yeah, to say the least, it has been busy. We've been super busy, but it's all worth it when you see like happy faces and you see everyone together that you've not seen for so long, because we're never together. Everyone's around the country constantly, so the hard work definitely pays off, and well, I hope it looks like it does anyway.
It's very busy. Oh, we've got questions that have come in on the screen as well. What digital marketing and online resources are available for customers to research and stay updated on DMG Mori's machine offerings?
Well, of course, we've got the LinkedIn. That's a constant stream of information. There's videos. We have videos on YouTube that anyone can access for machines, for the technologies, the automation, and then the digitization as well. Like, that's all on YouTube for anyone to see whenever they would like.
And also, if someone wants to come to this event next week,
Yeah.
in all honesty, it's all right us saying, come along.
Of course.
But how does everyone actually register, and who do you want to come along to this event?
We'd love anyone to come along, people that we've spoke to before, people that we've never spoke to, all around the country. To register, there's the link all over our LinkedIn, and also if you go to the DMG Mori events page, it'll take you straight to the UK events, and the DMG Mori UK Open House is right on the front page.
Right on the front page.
Oh yes, front and centre.
Yes. So it's on obviously tomorrow,
Yeah.
but there's next week as well, because I
Of
know
course.
there's half terms going on around the
Yeah,
UK,
yeah.
so it kind of works quite
Definitely.
nicely with you coming.
Was that one of the ideas, because we have got this split half term,
Yeah,
haven't we?
yeah.
So, and people don't want to miss out, do they? So they've got the chance on both weeks, I suppose.
No, that's the exact reason, because like I said, we've got Scotland, who I think are on half term this week, so we don't want them to not be able to come down. So we've got next week, Wednesday and Thursday, just so that it's accessible for everyone.
Yes.
And for those that haven't seen today or haven't been here today, there's almost 15 machines on show,
Yeah.
all equipped with automation,
Yeah.
people on hand, application engineers to talk to about parts that are being
Of course.
machined, as well as some of your partners as well.
Yes.
How important are they for you in the mix of what you're doing here?
Well, of course, they're very, very important, because they help us with like the tooling and the CAD/CAM side of things, and you can't always do everything, but it's nice to have other people that you can bring into the mix and build those relationships with. So having them here as well, on show almost, and talking to our customers, talking to each other, it's just to build a relationship.
Interestingly, now you've said that, we did have one of the customers come on earlier, and they said that they want a full solution,
Yeah.
and that's the route they're going. They don't just want a machine. So coming here, it's so worth it, because you get to speak with yourselves, but everybody else along the process. And I think that's it's open door.
Definitely.
Come and visit, and you'll get.
And do you know what? These machines are available, or in the majority, for sale, aren't they,
Yes.
after this
Yeah.
event, which is something we haven't mentioned on these streams today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after the event finishes in a couple of weeks' time or a week's time, I think a few of them have already got sold stamps on them from maybe today or last week, but
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
some available. So anything you've seen on the tour that I did with Martin and you're interested in is obviously worth talking to you guys
Of course,
about.
yeah.
For a quick delivery as well, I suppose.
That's the whole point as well of having them here, so people can see them. It's like the core machines that we provide, but then they're the ones they want, and it's going to be the solution for them. They'll be able to get it relatively quickly after the show.
Like that. Right, okay, that's it from us here at the DMG Mori Open House event. As we've told you, and we'll tell you again, today, of course, but tomorrow, and then it's the Education Apprentice Day on Friday, and next Wednesday and Thursday. Head to the DMG Mori events page where you can register for the event or get in touch on their LinkedIn page as well. Charlie, thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
going to
Charlie.
need potentially a glass of wine after all of this.
I think so.
You do. She's worked tirelessly on this event. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon.